Today, I'm sitting down, well, not really sitting down, but I'm standing up talking to Hall of Famer Alan Tanner to talk about one of the most overlooked yet absolutely critical element of hitting, what they call having a quiet head. I don't know if you've heard of that term, but we want to talk a little bit about it today. Most players focus on bat speed, stride, load, follow through, but none of that matters if your head is moving all over the place. A quiet head keeps your vision steady, your timing clean, and gives you the best possible chance to square up the ball. Alan has been teaching his entire career, and you're about to hear why it might be the single biggest factor that separates elite hitters from everybody else.
Tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us.
Okay. So we got Alan Tanner here. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. The one, have you ever heard the term quiet head?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what? How do you suggest that someone tell everybody what your definition of quiet head is?
Well, I think I'm going to take you to one of, I think, the most accurate sports movies that I've ever seen, and it's called For the Love of the Game. If you guys don't remember, it was when Kevin Costner was Billy Chappell. He was the pitcher, and he was struggling at the end of his career to stay focused, because his arm was given out, he had injuries, he had distractions in his personal life, and of course, not to mention the fact that he goes and he's playing in front of 40,000 screaming fans. And there's a particular scene in the movie that I thought was so accurate, where he's standing on the mound, he's got the ball in his hand, he's getting ready to pitch, and he says, and I use these words when I coach still, he says to himself, "All right, Billy, clear the mechanism." And what I think was great about the movie is that you hear the roar of the crowd and it slowly starts to fade away until it is dead silence. And it isn't until then that he throws the pitch. So
now, are you talking about the pitcher or the
pitcher.
the hitter getting the quiet head?
Well, both.
Okay, let's focus.
I don't care if it's a pitcher or a hitter.
No, I hear you.
Or a defensive player or a base runner or anything.
Let's focus on the hitter, because
if you're talking about a hitter, then yes, you can't think and hit at the same time. Those swing thoughts that I call them have to be done in the dugout. The very last swing thoughts get done on the on-deck circle. When you're in the box, you're basically focused on one thing. Rule number one, you ever come to Lamrock camps or personal instruction, rule number one is the difference between a good hitter and a great hitter is a great hitter hits strikes. So all you're doing at that point is focusing on watching the ball, and the first decision is it a strike or is it a ball? And if it passes the criteria of being a strike, where am I going to hit it? So that is a clear head to me as a hitter, of being that ultra focused, where I'm intently focused on the ball itself, and then is it a strike and where I'm going to hit it.
Well, yeah, all that is absolutely 100% accurate, but the context that I'm using quiet head is that you don't move your head.
Oh, that's fine. Look, that goes too.
Because when you move your head, everything else goes bad.
Well,
right?
Here's the thing. You brought up a good point, Ed, because, see, our two eyes are data entry. We've got a potential of 50% data out of this eye, 50% out of this eye, okay? And if we are moving our head incorrectly or at a wrong sequence during the swing, the data gets skewed. And our eyes, remember this, guys, our eyes tell our hands where to go. If our head is moving incorrectly or in a bad position, the data gets screwed. In a thousandth of a second, it can make the difference of you getting a hit or making an out. So in that context, I agree with you, and I totally agree.
So in that context, how do you prevent? And Bob gave me a great exercise. Maybe you probably know the same one. You guys train together a lot. What do you do to try to keep your head still?
Well, Ed, another good question. What I tell people when you're in the batter's box is to train yourself to watch the ball with your eyes, not your head. And what does that mean? We have a tendency, especially in senior softball, the arc is 6 feet to 12 feet. That guy throws you that 11 or 12 foot pitch, and a lot of the times we'll be doing that. So my head is moving, okay? Usually when my head moves like that, our shoulder has a tendency to do that too. Now we can correct that during the swing, but having a quiet head is goes along with the other thing that I preach, is that we have as little unnecessary movement in our swings as possible. The only movement that we want to the greatest extent is the movement from here to there. And that gets into simple physics, where we want all of our body mechanics going in the direction of what we're propelling, which is the ball going in that direction. So any movement this way, this way, this way, or this way, this or this, is potentially counterproductive. But it also can skew the data. And we have, Bob, I'm sure gave you've got 1.9 to 2.1 seconds to make up your mind, because that's about the time that a typical slow pitch softball takes to get from the pitcher's hand to the plate.
Again, all good stuff, but the exercise he gave me, I'll share with you. He said in batting practice, put a glove on your head. I never thought about it.
I was going to get to that. There's
Okay,
a lot of
sure
different
you were.
things, yes, that we were. I was talking more about the actual
No.
theory
It's
first.
all fill in.
The way that we try to teach people is, especially as we get older, we've got to hear it, we got to see it, and then we got to do it. And we got to do it over and over again, and that's creating what we want, is muscle memory. So Bob got right to the practical application of, that's a great drill to do, to keep your head still. I'm a detail guy. I talk too much. I make long stories short and short stories long. And I gave you my whole thought process.
No, I know what you did. And
I've had guys that take their hat and put it upside down on their head.
What?
There's all kinds of different things
crazy.
you can do. Well,
if you swing hard enough, you're just going to come off anyhow.
That's right. That's right. But sometimes
I like the glove.
Sometimes we overemphasize movements or positions to where we're actually a little bit out of position, so it sticks in our brain, and then we can cut it back a little bit to the practical application where it should be.
Yeah.
So many times I'll tell people, about keeping their head in on the ball, where the swing should go shoulder to shoulder. This chin should go from this shoulder to that shoulder. Now, if I stand here to try to hit like this, okay, I'm engaging muscles that I don't want to engage already, okay? So, but I overemphasize that movement. What I'm doing is trying to keep my head on the ball through the swing where my head doesn't move. Then I back it off during my swing. So if you see now, my chin really isn't on my shoulder, but I've done my practice swings at that, overemphasizing the position so it clicks with my head, in my head. Because that's called visualization. Visualization is something that we want to do as an exercise, as an athlete, to hear what we're trying to do, visualize it in our head, and then see if I can pull it off.
That's another video. That's good stuff. I got another question for you.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that short piece by Alan. We're going to have other clips from other people talking about the quiet head and different perspectives. Please hit subscribe.
You might have heard the pitch there a little too flat. Nope. Another shot hit in the direction of the left fielder Armitage, and he's just going to stand and watch that one go. And boy, it looks like